In this assistant we will voice our own and market's perspective on SIA future, while analyzing SIA quote for 2021, to say the very least generously recollect that you should accept this and some other estimate probably, since predicting anything is a disagreeable endeavor, also predicting the destiny of a novel significantly eccentric money-related asset like Siacoin buy could we head into it before we dig significant into the iota esteem assumption and answer inquiries if SIA is an insightful hypothesis or not. Why will SC succeed or miss the mark, or why will SIA esteem rise or drop? We ought to quickly throw a glance at what is Siacoin and its to-date history. SIA is one of the players in the decentralized additional room. The circulated stockpiling industry is colossal, and associations like SIA are needing to put a scratch in the strength of other notable storing stages, like Dropbox, Amazon S3 and Google Drive. We have recorded SIA as one of the most extraordinary advanced types of cash to place assets into 2021. However, which isolates SIA is that it is a decentralized encoded shared disseminated capacity stage. It is mixed expanded, divided into modest quantities, and thereafter that large number of modest quantities are sent around to a ton of different hosts. Right when you want permission to your report, consider it being in a T1000 sort, express the fitting pieces are recompiled, and you get your record. SIA has diminished above definitively by building the construction and once again appropriating the ability to anyone with a web affiliation and a hard drive. That is the explanation. It can charge a much lower cost. They copy the pieces. If a center holding a piece of your record is detached, not the least bit like most new coins, the SIA bunch chose not to hold an ICO. Taking everything into account, SIA began life while its starting block was mined. This is astoundingly weird in the cryptographic cash world. In any case, up until this point this has seemed to show up for SIA by virtue of observable monetary benefactors. For instance, Finbushi Capital, Raptor Group, Procyon Ventures, close by confidential allies like Xiaolai ensure explicit approach to acting along these lines. Tokenomics is essentially an inspiration structure planned to ensure that a token incorporates an explanation and utility inside its nearby association. It is the examination of how coinstokens work inside the greater climate that can be considered as a sovereign smaller than expected economy. This consolidates such things like representative scattering too, as how they can be used to help positive lead in the association. For example, Bitcoin is planned to ensure that Bitcoin diggers have inspiration to mine new Bitcoin earthmovers, support Bitcoin trades, and get or make fresh out of the plastic new Bitcoin. All the while, of course, individuals, associations and other Bitcoin clients pay a trade charge for diggers to recall their trade for the accompanying block. This ensures that regardless, when all Bitcoin have been printed to the tune of 21 million, which should happen in around 2140, Bitcoin earthmovers are as yet supported to keep mining. For instance, endorsing trades. To sum up the whole of the above at all mind-boggling terms, if you following a surprisingly long time of assessment and examining can't figure out why the endeavor needs to have a token, it probably doesn't. So why does the representative exist then? To make the undertaking coordinators rich. Nevertheless, there are sure people on Twitter, Reddit, Telegram, ensuring regardless to be sure they are at the same time paid to do as such by those comparable trailblazers. They are rushed and senseless horrendous holders, or they are essentially stroking their own mental self-portrait with, as of late, instructed lavish financial terms and language. Clearly keep away from such endeavors. Captain Altcoins Siacoin Prediction 2021. The whole crypto world is on an edge of an unquestionable bear market. Bitcoin has hung half from its phenomenal high amidst the greater market drops impacted by fuming extension and thus Fed rate increases. Monetary supporters are selling hazardous assets and moving into extra consistent business areas. Crypto is at this point seen as an incredibly unsafe play, and subsequently the closeout our algo still sees as some green in 2022. Especially in the second piece of the year. This is reflected in our 2022 conjectures right now. Bitcoin needs to find a close buy base before we can move the alternate way and change the direction. At the point when Bitcoin settles in the new expense range, altcoins will start to do in like manner. We have seen this present circumstance ordinarily in the eliminated and later history Our expense assumption model is negative for the accompanying 90 days, with a bit of an emphatically moving business sector. At the redirect of the quarters from Q1 to Q2, we expect whales and other more noteworthy players in the market to fold up, filling their sacks over that time, which will cause a typical and unforeseen crypto spike. Captain Altcoin Bunch made an expense assumption model with a complex method for managing crypto that thinks about both particular assessment and key assessment of each endeavor. Fundamentals that we evaluate are bunch tokenomics, use case neighborhood attempts, liquidity and exchange openness exposure, and